Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Friends Podcast, man. Thank you so much for
Yes,
joining us
sir.
again. If it's your first time, thank you for coming through, man. We appreciate everybody coming and listening to what we got to say, man. So, I'm gonna introduce myself. My name is Matt. I'm here with my co-host.
My name is Rod, and this is the Friends Podcast. Make sure you check us out everywhere. We're streaming on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and a bunch of other streaming services. Also, make sure that you check out our socials at the Friends Pod.
Yes, sir. Check us out. Check us out, man. So, I guess we can get into it. Yeah. So, I guess what's going on with you this week?
Me this week, it's been so much. Since we actually took like a little break, so I got a lot to discuss really. So my homie came and visited me last week, and man, we had a lot of good times out and about in New York.
Okay.
I, that was like pretty much my last day in New York before I had make my trip out to Texas for my new job that I just got. And I decided to make like a little road trip out of it. So I went to VA first, then I went to Atlanta, then I went to New Orleans, and then I made my way back to Houston, which was my destination, whatever. So every state, man, I got to see a little bit of the culture, a little bit of the food. It was a good ass time. Um, Atlanta was wild. New Orleans was the most wild though. They had like a parade and everybody was dressed up, and like the whole vibe and the people was just like completely different. Like they literally were telling me about celebrations that last an entire month.
Mm.
And I was like, an entire month? Like what for? Like, and then that's only like one thing that they have going on right now. And then they have Mardi Gras, and they pretty much said that goes on for like a month. So it's just like their whole culture and everything with the people there was just very interesting. They was like, once you come here, you'll just be drawn to here. You want to move here. And I
Yeah,
definitely felt the love from the people. They were cool.
they definitely know how to party down there for sure.
It was bad
They
service though.
or like phone service.
No, like at restaurants or something.
Oh, okay.
Very bad service.
Hmm. I wonder why that is. I don't know. I feel like everybody down there just trying to have a good time though. Like for the most part.
Yeah, I
But
don't know. It could have just been me. Maybe they just gave me bad service.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe they was like, oh, it's an out of towner. We can just treat them however. To be honest,
You know how
that's how it
people
be.
be.
Yeah.
But what about you? What you had on?
I mean, that shit, man. I'm just tired. Like that's really all I can say. I'm just tired. I don't. I can't. I'm just trying to find a way to catch up on sleep and catch up on everything I need to do. Like it's just. I don't know, man.
Too much
Like,
work?
I'm just not sleeping. Like I was talking about I think last time we recorded, which was like damn near 2 weeks ago. I wasn't sleeping good. I'm still not. So it's like it's just not. It's yeah,
Might be the time to see a professional.
yeah. I really do need to go to the doctor for real.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it's like a mental thing or if it's a health thing or both. Like I don't know, but I
I
can't get
mean,
enough sleep or
you might as
rest.
well
Like
see all of them. Why not? You got
shit,
insurance.
low key. Yeah, you got to keep that. You got to have that in America, which is some bullshit. But
Yeah.
that's another
We need
topic
to
for another
find a
day.
somewhere where people can go to. I'm sure there's a number that's something that we can get. Where if you want to
Hmm.
talk to somebody, you should be able to just call
Yeah,
and like
no,
set
definitely.
something up at least.
Like the
Where it
suicide
shouldn't cost money.
hotline.
Oh yeah, they got that. But
Yeah,
that's
like
only for
that.
serious niggas.
Didn't they change that though? They changed that to no, they changed the number, I think, to the suicide hotline.
I think it's what 411.
Yeah, I think they changed it to something more simpler recently. I don't know if it was 411. I think it's something with a 9. But yeah, it's just I just gotta
989.
988, I think. Yeah, 988.
I know I posted on our page before. Oh, okay, it's 988.
Yeah. But
That's 988 is the suicide and crisis lifeline, available 24 hours.
yeah, folks.
Languages: English and Spanish. Damn.
Okay.
So if you got a different language, you ass out.
Shit. Damn. Yeah, that is kind of crazy. Maybe they. I think they just no, but they've been had the hotline, so I feel like they should have some accommodation for that. But guess not.
Yeah.
Interesting. But yeah. But anyway, though,
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy that you would take it there.
what you
You
mean?
okay?
What you mean?
To the suicide hotline.
No, because you just said somebody. Oh, you have a number to call, and I'm like, oh, that's a number. Like,
Yeah, I'm talking about therapists.
oh, that's what you was talking about.
That's what I was talking about, but you took it to suicide.
Oh, okay.
Hotline. I'm like, you
But
took it
nah.
way darker.
Nah, I mean, that's a
I was taking it in a positive way.
my
Like, go get
mind
some
just
help.
my mind just go crazy ways sometimes. But with that being said, man, if y'all need that number, by the way, 988, man, call them
It's simple.
motherfuckers. They made it real simple.
Because
It was
911 don't be helping.
at all. Like that's one thing you got to understand for sure. They do not be helping like
They
we
come
want
when
them
it's
to.
too late.
Yep, for
The
sure,
crime
for
already
sure.
happened.
Yeah,
You on
yeah,
the
man.
floor, hurdled up.
It's over. It be over with. And it's just like damn. But anyway, let's move on and get into this first topic that we want to speak about today, man. Let's see, where should we open up? Try to make it entertaining for you folks. Let's see what we should open up with today, man. Um, I think this is the interesting topic that you brought up the other day. Something that's kind of been since you brought it up has been kind of pondering on my mind. So I guess the whole point of the conversation is like, is the street code, street rules, real niggas, real, what I'm saying, like that type of life, is that the downfall for the black community? Um, I think that's an interesting conversation because I mean we've seen the rise in drill rap. We see a lot of rappers dying. We see all this shit. No snitching. We've been seeing stop snitching. I think Diddy had a t-shirt in like '05 that was like stop snitching. Or no, that was the game, I believe. But
Yeah. And
so
and and to be honest, more into it is also like street code.
yeah,
Um, a Bible of the streets. I mean, to me, that was really made like really in the drug dealing times, where people made that cool to do,
hmm
and they inserted their rules because they had a certain amount of power because they were dealing drugs in the community. So they were also giving back to the community with the same drug that they were destroying the community with. So
yeah,
it was a little bit of a mind control thing that the streets played. They made it whatever they were doing was cool, and anything anybody else was doing don't make sense. Like every rapper or something that come about, they always very excited to say, "Oh, I didn't complete school. I didn't get an education. I don't read books, and I still managed to garner this much success, this much money." Um,
hmm
like they're not a unicorn amongst the world. That's not the result of most people. That's that's just being blessed and highly favored in their instance.
yeah.
So them trying to highlight their success, it doesn't really affect majority of people. Like people don't feel the same way. So,
Right. It just like I think I said this on a previous episode. It's just like the NBA. Like it's only been 4,400 some odd people in the NBA. It's only certain successful rappers. So these codes, or even kingpins, drug kingpins in the street. So like these codes don't really apply to everybody. But I feel like more and more regular people are trying to subscribe to these codes and these things for what reason, I don't know.
yeah, like snitching and um like let's just start there first. Like I guess
Okay.
I'm gonna start there.
Yeah.
Because there's so many codes, so to say. So snitching, it's someone that doesn't ask for help from a higher authority, police figure,
hmm
and if they see something going wrong, obviously in their community, they don't try to help the situation. So it's really just the idea of it is saying that we're not gonna help each other. What we see is just like it is what it is.
Yeah,
Like we're not trying to help anything. Like even if we're not snitching, we're not helping either. We're not policing our own community.
yeah.
So the whole idea of not snitching doesn't really make sense to me.
But
Like
I
that's
think,
almost preaching to black people like not to help each other and
but I
not
think,
to I don't know. Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, but I think what
This is
it
just my point.
is, because what I think what it is that people are not trying to snitch because they be afraid of them motherfuckers in the neighborhood. Sometimes, like sometimes them niggas in the neighborhood, they did that to them. What they gonna do to me if they find out that I snitched, right? That I told that I cooperated with police. Like I think that's part of it. Why that code is so that like it comes to a point where people take control of the streets, like people. Like it ain't no
Yeah.
police. You know what I
And I
mean? So I
mean
think
that's my whole point in this conversation here.
right.
Is it street code and the street Bible our downfall? Like they be making these rules that just don't make sense that benefits us. Like it's it's led us to this point where
Hmm.
we highly fantasize all this street kind of things, the money, the cars, the clothes. It's like, and then also like media, like white media and things like that. Let me be frank, they they already pushing. They're just pushing forward what we're already delivering.
Hmm.
Like they're magnifying it. They're putting on the magnifying glass and giving us money to do it even more. Because they say like once you get money, like you're 100 times what you were before.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. They're giving it to these people like in the hoods and stuff like that. They're magnifying their ignorance,
Hmm.
and then they're highlighting saying it's cool because they can. That's what media is. It twists a narrative.
Yeah. And they could magnify other things, but they choose to magnify the fuck shit. Which I think that we should pay attention to that. We done talked about on this podcast before. Like, why did they magnify the things they magnify? So it's just perpetuating it.
Yeah, and then the intelligent black people, like they're just stealing their ideas.
But I don't know. I think it's. I don't think there's one thing you could point to say like, oh, this is the downfall of a community. I don't think there's one thing you can point to. Like, yeah, it's factors to things, but I think that maybe it could be a large factor of why. You know what I mean? Of the downfall. But who says that we down? Like when you say downfall, do you mean like we're doomed? Or do you mean like we've regressed since the '60s and the '70s, or how do you view it?
Well, how I view it is that I think in the general sense, when I read a recent article, it said the black community, um, pretty much their wealth and everything like that is gonna drop.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like that tells me if people are already looking at those statistics and how the black community and everything like that, then we become like the poorest, one of the poorest of the communities. Like in the next, really, it said like 30 years. Like they were saying, like the black community is gonna be fucked up.
Hmm.
I mean, we weren't the only ones, and I guess we should make sure that we probably give people this article.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's what I mean when I say downfall. I mean, of course, you can bring up a lot of historical things. You can bring up Tacoma
Hmm.
when they did to those black community. They burnt it down.
Yeah. Oh, you talking about Tulsa?
Tulsa,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like
Yeah, but yeah, that was a while ago. Um,
yeah, you can always bring up like facts like that. But when I think of today, what we highlight, what we choose to um, make cool, and the things that are gonna get us forward, like I feel like most black people who gain a certain amount of wealth and knowledge and things like that, or they keep the secrets to themselves. It's not we don't have like a community where a lot of people just share ideas.
hmm.
It's always there, me, me, me. And that's the same idea of the street code. Like a lot of people there, it's like, I'm trying to get up. I.
Yeah.
Like they want people to just like up underneath them, not really know all the game. Like they think it's detrimental to them to help someone else. And that idea like is it's not really amongst other like cultures. Like
These are not new ideas though. I mean, where you think crabs in a barrel come from? You know what I
yeah, I
mean?
mean, these are things that black people been saying
Yeah.
about ourselves. And when public figures actually do say these things, they're demonizing the black community. When they say things that like are true about the black community, they're demonized. Like black people don't take the chance to really think about it and be like, hey, maybe it's true. Look up like some facts, things like that. They just immediately go with whatever the narrative is on social media or whatever, or a
Mm-hmm.
headline. Like they don't try to find any facts in what they're saying. They immediately always try to come up with something because like we immediately want to hate on something. Like
Hmm.
we're not trying to like get the point of person and like the knowledge behind something. Like I always was taught when I was younger. Like it's kind of like a sponge. Like you absorb the good shit, and then the rest of the shit kind of just goes away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like that's kind of always like what I went by. It's like even with people that I meet, it's like whatever they do or whatever like they got going on. Like I really, to be real, I don't give a fuck. I'm not here to be a judge. I'm not a god. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
like people are people. Everyone makes mistakes. I'm not perfect, and I can talk to pretty much anyone without like. Of course, there's some people that's just like, hey, yeah, you just being a nigga right now. But other than
Yeah.
that, like I'm not really judging people like that. Like everyone has good to them.
You know, I think that I don't know. I feel like I always say this, but these conversations are tough because there's not one right answer, and I think that it's
It's
one thing
not
I
one
want to
right
touch on.
answer, but it's just your opinion. What do you think about it?
True.
And that's
I
really
mean,
what it
but
is.
one thing I want to touch on is you said like people don't want to share secrets, but I don't think it's as easy as like, oh, one man has a secret and he tells the other man, and then we up now. I don't think it's that simple.
You don't
I
think
mean,
sharing knowledge is the key to our success as
what
black
what
people?
what knowledge are we talking about though?
Everything.
No, you got to give me something. So is it like financial things? Is it about a
If
history of where we came
no, I'm
from? Is
saying
about
no. I mean, we don't even gotta get that deep into details. Since you're being broad, I gotta be broad too. So, a group of people or a singular person, who's gonna be able to do more? There's more minds to a group
of course.
than a single person, and that's the same idea. I'm just being broad with it. I'm not getting into detail of every little thing. Oh, this possibly could affect it. This possibly could affect it. If there's a community of people that all sharing ideas, that's better than one person keeping the ideas.
Well, that's true. Okay, when you put it like that, yeah, I understand what you mean. Yeah, cause what I was thinking of it like, oh, it's a secret. Like, oh, this the cheat code. This the cheat code, y'all. Just do this, and then we gonna be up. Like that's kind of
Nah,
how I was thinking about it.
it's of course it's not that simple
Yeah.
like that, obviously, but the willingness of community and people helping each other is like that's powerful. I mean, other communities
Mm-hmm.
do it. Like you can see it, what Kanye be saying. Like the Jewish community, they do it. They go to churches. They have hella like functions and events or where they communicate with each other. They share their wealth. They share their ideas.
You think we don't though?
I
You
don't
think
think
black
we
people don't?
see when you get into like you think black people don't. Of course, some people do.
Okay.
Like that's of course like, but it's not like a cultural thing for us yet. That's not typical amongst most of people. Like that's not something that we grew up on. A typical black person grew up on.
Yeah. I
Maybe
mean,
it's something that could be growing in today's age. You're like, yeah, helping each other, and the idea of doing that idea may be growing. But even then, today is like black people they tax, they upcharge things, they upcharge their knowledge, they put it in these programs that it's another scam to get more money out of people, black people, really. But oh, I made this much money, and then this is how I'm gonna help you. So let me sell you this booklet or this
Hmm.
training program that I got for you, and then you too can make $1 million in 6 months.
Hey, the game is the game. Like,
That's not sharing idea. That's like that's taking what you know and try to manipulate it to like your
mhm.
own. Like that's not that's not what I'm talking about here. That's my problem is like this idea of that. Like black people just think that shit just cool. Like they love the street code. They love these street rules. Like that's the whole idea of the streets to get over on somebody so you can advance yourself. That's the street code, like legitimately. That's the downfall. Like
Hmm.
us popularizing that, us highlighting that, us living off of that, like it's stupid. Like these gangsters is like us following that shit is just dumb. It don't make sense. It don't advance us.
So then what? We got to
It's
stop
leading
listening
us
to
the
the
wrong
music.
way.
We got to stop listening to the music, or what?
Who said anything about music?
You said gangsters. There's a lot of gangster rappers, right? I mean, that's what's up right now.
What music you talking about?
Come on now. Come
There's a
on.
lot of gangsters in rock too. I don't know what you talking about. Like you brought it up. What you talking
You
about?
said gangsters and what?
I'm
Rock?
talking about gangsters in the street. You talking about music? What are you talking about?
Well,
What you
okay.
mean?
So if you're talking about gangsters in the street, okay. I mean,
I'm
all I'm
talking about the
saying
real
is
shit. I ain't talking about what's on the radio.
every black person is not in the street. So the things that black people that are not in the street see is rap music, right? So it's like a lot of people are bringing the streets to music. So it's like that's an influence as well. So if you want to say the street code is this and that, are we ready to
I
to
mean, I
switch
feel
it
like
up?
you're making it equal, saying the street code is equal to hip hop music,
No, it
and
don't. It definitely don't. But I'm saying these,
that's not the argument I want to bring up because
but are these not
I
the lyrics
don't
that they saying
believe.
though? What's the lyrics that they talking about?
I mean, you
That's my
bringing
whole
this
point.
up like I don't know what is your point? Like, what are you saying?
Don't you acting like you ain't never heard no lyrics from no rappers that's just
Yeah, of
like
course I heard
damn.
lyrics from, but like, what's the point? Like, of
But
course
I'm
there
saying
are
these
those bad examples, but there's good examples too of
there
hip hop
is,
music.
but just like I said before, who's amplified? Who's getting signed? Who's getting these big deals? Like who just got signed? There's a bunch of people from Detroit got signed that, they talk about drug shit, did drug dealing, which is like, so I'm just saying, like, if you can't get rid of one, or like ostracize one without ostracizing the other. So it's like, okay, the street gangsters got to go, then so do the gangster rappers. Am I right? Or am I wrong? That's just how I look at it. This nigga chewing chips and shit. um,
No,
but
I mean I hear you, but I'm trying to get like what's your point of it? Like, what point do you want to make about it?
that's my point.
No, you're just explaining that like hip hop it does sometimes like that is what's highlighted, but like of course like we know that.
But I'm saying if
That's why I'm like, what is your point on this? Like we know that. Like,
you're
but
saying
what are you saying about it?
you're saying the street code is bad, so I'm saying, what about the rappers that talk about the street code and glorify it in their lyrics? Do we get rid of that or no?
I mean, of course not. And I'm like that's my point. Is saying is like bringing up the music is like I feel like that's not the biggest problem. Is music isn't the biggest problem of the streets.
I don't
Like
know. I'm
it's
not in the
to be
streets.
honest, a lot of people in music they're making money. They're investing in businesses of their own. They're rich.
This is
That's not
true.
really the streets to me. Like
It's not. It's not. I'm not saying it
so,
is.
like that's why you're saying like, oh, music is like trying to relate it to this conversation is like okay, like
I don't think it's
that's
far
what
fetched.
CNN does. Like that's what Fox News does. Like that's what they're trying to do. But
No,
that's not
stop
what
it.
I want to do. Like
We
I
two black
understand.
men on this podcast right now. We got to keep it 1,000 and act like we not gonna
I
act
get the
like this shit.
conversation, but
We
like
not
that's
gonna
what I'm
act
trying to
like
get
they
your point.
singing ABCs and rap. We not gonna act like that. because they not. If you listen to the lyrics, they not. So it's like that's why I'm saying I don't want to. I'm not sitting here talking about like rap music. Like I'm just saying going off your premise. Like
Black of the berry, the sweetest juice. Like,
I don't know. Anyway, we can move on though. We can move on from that. I mean, I don't think we came to a conclusion. Obviously, I mean we just having a conversation. But I mean, is the street code the downfall
no, I
of the
guess I'm
black
just trying to
community?
figure out what's like your conversation point of it. But
It
like
don't matter.
what?
We can
Yeah,
move on. I already made my point. Like
yeah. I mean,
if
you're
you
trying to
saying
highlight hip hop is kind of detrimental to
no, I'm not. I'm just
or
saying.
equate it to like the street code, and I'm
I'm
saying
not.
no, it's not.
But I think that's naive of you to think that they not talking about street code and music.
No, of course they are,
So then what's the difference?
but I don't know. You're trying to say like that's my point. Are you trying to highlight that rap or hip hop music has a very big influence on the black community and what we do?
No.
That's why it's like that one factor doesn't change the entire ecosystem of black people.
But I'm saying
Like
if
hip
we're if
hop is like it's music.
it
Like
is,
it's
but
not.
you acting like music just don't come out of
Yeah, but
real experiences.
yeah, exactly. Hip hop is like just rapping about the struggles.
So if street code equals bad and rappers rap about street code,
They rap about the struggles and the street codes. Yeah.
so how you missing this? I'm confused. Like how you missing the fact that
No,
they're
the
rapping
thing
about the
is, like,
street
I'm
code?
not missing it. It's so obvious. That's what I'm trying to say. What about it? Like, okay, like, yeah. We
Okay,
know.
that's what I'm
We
saying.
two
Let's
black
move
brothers.
on.
We know this. That's what I'm trying to say. What is your point of this? It's like, okay,
So
I
so
got it.
so, so how do we get rid of the street codes then? So what is it? What do we do with it? Because I mean, if it's bad, if it's so detrimental to the black community, what is it gonna take?
Like, oh, okay, so we're getting off the music now. All right, so the street code thing. Like, I feel like there's a lot of steps that we can make for sure. That's not one singular thing. Um, I don't want to seem like a person who like a prophet or MLK because I don't feel like I am, but I feel like one of the things that we should do is start highlighting figures in our community, activists and things of that nature who are actually in the community,
Hmm.
like helping people, helping the schools, giving things to the kids. Um, because that's where that's the growth. That's like that's the beginning. Is like helping the kids and giving them an environment that's great in a sense because they are our future.
This is
Um,
true.
but yeah, I feel like that also like there has to be a legit organization um, where our funds would funnel to that invest in these things for us, and it has to be on a mass scale um, because we need these organizations in every kind of neighborhood where particularly black people live, and we needed to be a funnel system of cash flow that we would invest in as people that would be redivesting in our community and help us specifically. I feel like that would be great. Um,
Hmm.
I think also there should be um, like we should make certain things cool and other things not. Like we gotta stop highlighting ignorance. Like that's like we gotta stop making that so cool. Like and allowing the media to make it like black is so dark and we're the reason why white people gotta or other people gotta walk on the other side of the street. Like we gotta change our own narrative in a sense. Like
Hmm.
um I, yeah, I feel like there's a good amount of things that we should probably do. But it all starts with like us actually liking each other and feeling like it's just not just me. Like that's why I say it starts like young. Like it has to be this sense of community when you're younger, because I feel like as a lot of black people, me particularly, I felt isolated from other black people. Like the other black people has this sense to make you feel isolated. Like
Like you talking about at this moment in time, like in this chapter of your life, or
no,
just
I'm
in
saying when
general?
I was younger, when I was like a kid
Okay,
and stuff like that.
okay, okay.
Um, yeah, I don't know. Well, this is what I think about it, and that's what I'm gonna say about it right now.
Okay. So let me. This is something I wanted to bring up earlier too, like because we were talking about Jewish people and how you were talking about, they go to church and they have these meetings and they have different functions that they go to.
At the mosque, they have funds and things that the community they put money into. Yep.
Right. But I'm thinking like, but I feel like religion is big in the black community as well. So is it that the same things are happening in black churches versus Jewish churches? Like, because I feel like that's a community. I was in church, every week coming up. So it's like that was a community to me. And I feel like religion is big. I mean, I might be tripping, but I feel like
Yeah,
religion is big in the black community.
that's
So
the thing. Like, now that you're bringing up the church, um, a lot of that do depend on a good pastor. Um, some pastors are frauds,
this is true.
and really they're just doing the church thing to advance themselves, and they really ain't shit. Like when people put money into tithes and offerings and things like that, yes, it's supposed to withstand the church. But outside of that, that money is supposed to go into the community. It is supposed to help people in the congregation.
Mm,
Um, I've my family's super religious, and there's been definitely times where like they're so faithful to giving up their money every Sunday. And then when it came time to when we needed it, and we asked the pastor for some bread, they said, "Oh no." Like, but they're so willing to give 10%, pay a tithe. So two things: they give an offering and they do tithes
mm-hmm.
every week, faithfully for years. And when they finally need help, they ask this guy, "Hey, I need like," and they say no, and they're walking around with these nice ass suits. They're walking around with, they're driving in the Cadillac. They have all these nice jewelry and shit on in the congregation and stuff like, and your people just looking a certain way. It's disgusting.
Hmm.
It's like that's why it just goes to like how people are brought up and like the sense of really being a community, because it's just like a bunch of frauds who ain't really doing it to help nobody. They just doing it to help themselves.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's really the only thing I can think of, in my life where that's where a community was formed, like a full black community.
Yeah, I've
Um,
seen good though. For sure. I'm not gonna shit on all black churches because that's not what I'm doing. 'Cause there's definitely been black churches that definitely did help, and
there's
they do
definitely
help.
some good ones. Yeah, there's definitely some good ones, but it'd be some infidelity, it'd be some money stealing, money laundering type shit. Sometime
Yeah, I've
like, it
seen a
just
lot of
happens.
all of that.
I mean, even just this year, we done seen a couple pastors who done told off their congregation. Like one dude, like, y'all, this is why y'all ugly, and what I'm saying, calling his, talking down to his congregation, or
Yep.
I forgot what happened with the dude in New York. It was some dude in New York. He had like,
Yeah, he had
I
all
can't
that
remember.
jewelry and all that stuff. He just
Yeah,
does his
yeah,
services.
yeah,
But in that instance, someone stole from him.
yeah. That's what it was. Yep.
But yeah. And then you also got like certain pastors and things of that nature. They want to charge you to help with a prayer. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but oh, we know these mega churches. Yeah, y'all be giving like, oh, you got this line, you got this line, you got this line. Like, and it depends how much money and
Mm-hmm.
what kind of prayer and like what line you're in. Like it's just disgusting.
Yeah, and then these
Like,
are the things that turn people away. So like it turns people away from being in a good community where we could build something to actually have togetherness. when there's people that's conducting themselves in their, you know, their churches and their congregations like this. It's like, okay, well, I'm not even gonna go no more because they on some bullshit. So I'm just gonna be out here on my own. So it's
And a
just
lot
like,
of black
damn.
people have this thing where they want to be better than someone. Like, oh, like this, like these pastors feed on that shit. Like that's really the only way someone can tell you, oh, this line, this line, this line. It's not even that. It's white people too. Like at the white church, they do the same shit. Like it's categorizing. Like people
Hmm.
love to feel like they're a superior to
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
So that's the same idea as like charging someone more for something, and then you have like I don't know. It's all a scam. It's just playing into the mental of like the community, and if you can take advantage of like your people.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, it's very manipulative sometimes. I ain't like Rod said, it's not everybody. It's not all churches, but
And
you
I always
know,
had this one thing.
mhm.
Where in the Bible did it ever say 10%?
I think that is in the Bible somewhere.
10% is not in the Bible.
Let me
There
see.
ain't no 10%. Maybe there might be something where, oh, this person gave 1/10 of a camel or some shit like that. Like, and they try to reinterpret it. Oh, you got to give 10% of something. It's like,
It's in the Bible. Deuteronomy 14:22-26. Verse 22 says, make an offering of 10%, a tithe of all the produce which grows in your fields year after year. So back then it was produce, but produce turned to money, you know what I mean? To currency,
yeah, who
which
said that?
is in the Bible. God said it. Like, what
He
you
said a
mean?
produce. Why
But
are we bringing vegetables to church? Like
produce,
if I got like 6 cans in my cabinet, I gotta bring at least one.
yeah, 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 yeah. Hold on, I'm trying to read this
God
verse.
ain't saying money. Like what is like this idea has just been like it's a scam. He ain't asked nobody for no bread.
Oh, and then verse 25 says, it's exchange your tithe. So after you take the produce, it says exchange your tithe for money and take the money to the place of God, the place God has chosen to be worshipped. Use the money to buy anything you want, cattle, sheep, or wine. So that's interesting. So it's like take the money to the place has chosen to be worshipped, and then use the money to buy anything you want. So that means we're not even supposed to be giving it. We're supposed to. I'm confused. This is confusing. And this is one of the things about religion and about these books that we go off of. Like, it's really up into anybody's interpretation. Like, my interpretation is like, I'm supposed to keep that 10%. Like, why am I giving it to you? But um
I don't know. It's a lot of black families that don't really have money, but they so faithful to these ideas and these systems they were brought up on.
mhm.
And I'm just like at this point, and I've always questioned it, my parents, like, how does that make sense to you?
I
Like
don't know.
we're struggling. Why are you giving money away? Like I'm so like I'd be so confused, and they be, oh,
It's
it's a
God.
blessing coming.
It's God. Exactly. It's God.
Like,
Like,
it's
it's to
been
the
how many
point
years? Like, what are you talking about?
some people just have faith, like unconditional
Like,
faith.
if that was so, like, I'm I'm not just saying just us, like as my family. I'm
Yeah.
saying just in terms of like just the black community all going to church. Like, it would have been changed.
Hmm.
Like, like if that was the case, like you can look around and look at like the facts of shit. It ain't changing.
Not that
Like,
quick.
I don't know. It's just like, man, use your head. Like a lot of times, it'd be like when it comes to church, there's no common sense sometimes. Like when I think about,
But that's the thing. That's what you got to understand about religious people is faith. That's really what it is that faith, and people have faith. Um, if somebody get cancer, I'm gonna pray it away. Um, things of that nature. Like, people think that that's it's faith, but the thing is, there's faith, and then you had to put with faith, you had to put hard work and things of that nature. You got to put common sense. You know what I mean? So it's like some people get it fucked up and they just have faith, and that's where people get fucked up and tie the way they hold rent check. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We don't went on a
Yep.
tangent.
People
Do you
get their
think
taxes and fucking just throwing money. Look at the.
so? Do you think this could be a factor to the downfall of the black community, like
Like this
the
was
church?
I'm speaking in terms of my family when I say these
Right,
things.
right, right,
Like that
right.
I saw personally that just did not make sense to me.
It's
That I questioned when I got older. I was
there's
like,
many
why
people.
are you doing that? Like,
There's many people that did that for sure.
and it's just this miracle whip ass answer. It just don't make sense. Like, I can't fathom it. But I don't know. Yeah, I mean that's done with that.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into this next topic. We're going kind of long already. Goddamn. I think I don't want to talk about Kanye anymore, to be honest. So I'm just gonna skip over that one. Um, even though I have some shit to say, but I just don't even want to. I'm tired of talking about that nigga. Let's talk about Doctor Oz and these dogs, and Brett Favre, which I think we brought up Brett Favre before, but I think something came out a couple of weeks ago where Doctor Oz was uh conducting experiments, and some of his experiments killed over 300 dogs, and it seemed like it seemed like the nigga is Teflon because it's really not affecting him. I didn't really I think that he just had a debate too, like a couple days ago, and I didn't watch it to see how he did. I don't know how he's doing in the polls right now. I could have looked that up before, but I didn't even think about it. But it seemed like he Teflon, and nobody really gives a fuck that he did this shit with the dogs. Meanwhile, somebody like Michael Vick, who I think his brother was fighting dogs, and maybe he was financing it. I don't know the exact knowledge on it, but it wasn't no 300 dogs that died. You know what I mean? And he went to jail and he got ostracized, and motherfucker was talking shit. Motherfucker still talking shit about it. So it's like it's really two Americas.
Yeah, he spent 21 months.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just really the testament to the fact that it's two Americas out here. Like,
Yeah, and Dr. Oz is still going on campaign tour, shaking hands, kissing babies.
yeah. So
And he killed 300 dogs. So what what where's the outrage? Like
I've heard people talking about it, but it's not.
where's going to jail? Where's locking this dude up?
I don't know.
That's what I want to hear. I'm like, they did all that for Michael Vick.
Cause then even
The world
companies,
stopped.
yeah, it did.
Everyone had a fucking opinion about it.
Yeah.
But Dr. Oz, he got a good publicist and can hide the media.
Yeah, maybe it hasn't reached everybody yet, but it seems like I've heard it on major news networks. I think
No,
I feel like I have.
everyone heard it by now.
So it's like
In those big circles.
it's not that he got good media. Like the articles are still out here. It just like seems like people don't care. I don't know. Um, and the guy that he's running against in Pennsylvania, I think is Jim Fetterman. He recently had a stroke. I think it was in May or March of this year. It was earlier this year. He had a stroke, and so people were talking about his fitness for office, and like they talking more about his, the guy having a stroke than somebody killing 300 dogs. So it's like, what is going on? I just don't understand what's going on in the political in the political world. Like, it just seems like things are just crazy right now. Um, and I don't know. I think we just wanted to highlight this because I feel like nobody really gave a fuck when they heard this shit. To be
It's more
honest,
of a like this discrepancy though. This is what I'm asking about it.
okay,
There's is this this idea that black people is thrown in jail, they get more years than everyone like that.
that ain't no idea.
Um,
That's a fact.
those are facts.
Yeah,
To us, yes.
no,
We know.
it should be a fact to everybody. But yeah,
But when it comes to our white counterparts, a lot of times they try to dismiss our issues and what's going on.
hmm
And bringing up these stories like this, it just highlights the disparity, really. And I feel like that's important. Be like, okay, so this can happen and this can happen, but if a black man do it, he's just demonized and everything stripped from him. Literally, money, who they was as a person, the
Yeah.
attacks on their family, the death threats,
Yeah.
literally destroying a black man's life without any remorse.
Mm-hmm.
And that's literally what media does, though. It can turn whatever was going on and just magnify it, like times whatever, depending on like what. For some reason, whenever a black person do something, it's just like they want to put on every fucking newscast and
Like
say
Tiger Woods.
blah
Tiger
blah
Woods
blah.
cheated on his wife and lost the Nike contract. I'm not condoning cheating, but like,
There's a lot of athletes who did it.
yeah.
It's just like I don't know. It's just very weird. Even
Hmm.
this thing with Kanye, whatever he said, it's just like it's very weird for every publication to say who dropped him. Like, or Forbes, or when Forbes came out, it said he's not a billionaire since Adidas did this and he's
Yeah.
worth this.
What? I'm like,
It's just like
why?
why is all these companies going out their way to say they cutting ties? Why can't you just do this shit without putting out a report or like it's weird that it's all at the same time.
Hmm.
It's like it's literally like they're trying to prove a point, like
Hmm.
by like just doing it. And like it's someone in the background who's paying all these media companies and controlling it to paint him a certain way. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of what he was saying in the interviews, and even the shit with Adidas recently that came out. They said that they're gonna steal his work, and they're just not gonna call it Yeezy no more. They're
I'm
just
with it.
gonna make it part of Adidas, and they're gonna call it something else, and come out with new colorways.
I was just thinking about this today. I'm still copping. I don't give a fuck. I like some of the Adidas
And
shoes
I and
that
I bet they make it cheaper, which is what he wanted to do too.
if they make it cheaper, that would be
Like they stealing his
crazy.
ideas. They probably gonna make it a bit cheaper because they ain't got the Yeezy or like Ye's name on it.
Yeah.
Like everything that he wanted to do, they're doing without him now. Like
So
and
so you,
what he said about these people and what they're doing, they're stealing his shit. And then when he gets mad and combats them, they literally burying him and they're finding something in there and then something in the contract to terminate him.
how do you feel about Adidas doing that? So you think that's foul that they doing that they gonna continue selling shoes that's his same silhouettes and things like that, and then selling it under a different name or whatever. Like you think that's
It's
foul?
foul to steal like his ideas and what he
I
came up with in his team.
I disagree. Well,
Like it's so many times in history black people are just like our ideas are just stolen and buried and they just stealing it and making billions off of it, which is exactly what they're doing.
you think Kanye designed that shoe 100%? Designed those shoes 100%?
I don't think that's the right question. Do I
Okay,
think
so
that? I think the right question is: does that shoe come out if Kanye wasn't a part of it? No. Like it's
yeah,
Yeezy
yeah.
brand, it's his imprint. Like that's saying Adidas. I don't know. It's like he is like the Steve Jobs of like Apple, but he's Kanye of Yeezy. Without him, it ain't gonna come out.
This is true, but I think that diminishes all the other people that was there designing the shit too. Like
If
I'm
someone at the top ain't telling what they want and pushing their team to do it and saying
right.
it has to be this, it doesn't come out. Like if there's
This is
no
true.
idea and like it don't matter. You have just a group of people. If they don't have no direction, then what is it?
Right.
It's just
I
a
understand.
fucking group of people that's just disorganized and like chaotic. It's gonna burn up.
I understand. Yeah, because he probably got to approve everything to go out and all that shit.
And he's particular. He goes through a lot of iterations. He's literally molded his baby.
I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with you. I don't give a fuck. I never gave a fuck when Kanye was crying about Adidas and like, oh, they doing this. Like they not letting me do what I want. Like you signed the contract. You did what you did. You stayed in that shit and made all these shoes and did all that for your personal benefit, so you can get more money. And now that they dropping you, I'm supposed to feel sorry for you. I understand what you're saying too, right? Where you saying like, they're taking the black man idea again, and here it go. Like they just gonna run off with it. I understand, but I really don't give a fuck just because it's Kanye West. I don't care. I don't. I never care when you can't go sign off with a corporation and then cry about it when they don't. When corporation is corporation, like that's what they're there for. So I don't care. I'm still gonna buy a Yeezy because I like some of their silhouettes. I'm still gonna buy it, and it is what it is. I don't care. Like personally.
Yeah, I feel like
And
it's a little bit more to it though. Like, I don't get why. Okay, so all this stuff is coming out about all these companies and everything dropping them,
hmm
and I've been looking at the comments across all the board. A lot of time, it's black people shitting on other black people.
okay.
I don't get why black people, like, they love the drama aspect of it. They love seeing a downfall of something, like to try to prove somebody right. They love
Hmm.
proving somebody wrong and they right so bad. Like there's something like they want to just like it's ego. It's almost an egotist thing within themselves. It's like it's really
hmm
just being bitter. It's
Hmm.
like he garnered that much success and thing off of his work,
That's
like
cool.
and things like that. And you think because he says something or he has an opinion, he should just lose it, or like what, like something that you saying validifies that him crazy? That
Hmm.
$1 billion man is not crazy. He's not
So,
crazy. Like he literally went from having nothing and complaining about across everyone begging for money to becoming one of the richest black men that we have.
okay.
What's
So
crazy about that?
so him saying anti-Semitic things don't warrant him to be dropped from companies.
Okay,
Anti-black things too.
what particularly anti-Semitic things did he say? Okay, so
The tweet. 'Cause that's
okay,
what everybody's zeroing in on. The
that's what
tweet.
media wants to zoom in on. I
Okay.
feel like what's being like what
We're
he
not caping for Kanye today. I'm not. You can, but I'm not.
okay. It don't gotta be. We two different people.
That's true.
Um. So what I feel about it is they're highlighting the one thing that like was real. Mm, that they knew was like the worst thing that they could try to weaponize to destroy him and say, oh, because he said this is like everything. But why do they deny? Like, did anybody ever look up and say, oh, are black people the original Jews?
Did you?
I don't have to look that up because that's common knowledge, though.
No,
Like with
it's
the
not.
Hebrews.
No, it's not. Stop this. Stop. Stop it. Who is this? Am I talking to Kyrie Irving right now? What is going on? Like, is this Dr. Umar that I'm talking to? What are you? That's not common knowledge. You never looked that up. I can guarantee 1,000% you never looked that up. So that's why I don't want to push these dangerous narratives because I don't have the knowledge to say that
This
or
is
not.
the problem. So many black people are saying like they immediately like, stop without actually looking at themselves.
You didn't look it up either, though. What you mean? You said it's common knowledge.
It is
It's-
common knowledge because it's in the history books. They were the Israelites. That is common knowledge. That is in the history books. So we are the Jews. So it's just like this is common knowledge. But black people want to say, "Oh no, that's not what we do." Because it's American niggas it's American black people who say that shit. It's not the Africans overseas. Like that's my point. Who are Muslims and shit. Like that's like it's the niggas. It's the niggas here in the U.S. what like they don't know fucking shit about their own history and were stripped of it. That who like are so against it.
Are all black people Jews?
Yes, like our origins are like very Jewish, it's very Muslim. Like that's literally that's it.
I don't.
That
You know,
was that was our origin. Like niggas are from Africa.
you know, Israel is not like Jewish people don't. That's not Africa though. I mean, yeah, that's a part of Africa up there. Like we talking about the Middle East, but it's Africa is a big continent. I'm saying that I don't know. I need to read something on this, like for sure, because we talked about this on the Maurice episode. And
Yeah,
Maurice
we
said he
did.
didn't know anything about it.
No, I
You
mean,
said you
I
ain't know
talked
either.
about it a bit more into Maurice.
Okay, okay,
And
okay.
the thing is, like, the thing if there was a historian here and having this conversation with us, and he said the same things I said, or if there was a historian who really spoke all the facts, and the thing is, like, nobody cared about the facts. No,
Yeah,
no, no.
yeah.
That's the thing. Nobody care about no facts. When like they love the joke, they love to laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Like the facts don't matter. It ain't guilty until proven innocent. Like nigga, you just guilty
Yeah, yeah.
because that's the story. That's the headline, nigga. Like it don't like you don't have to be proven innocent. Like that's why they demonize so many people that way.
Mm, I'm trying to read. I'm reading this article on this shit right now. I don't need to read this right now during the podcast, but that's really. I don't even know how. I didn't want to talk about that nigga. I don't even know how we even got
I mean,
on that
yeah, he
shit.
one person, but it's just like the general conversation of it though. Like
I for,
he's just another example of it.
how did we get here though? I forgot what we was talking about. Oh, we was talking about Dr. Oz and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, and I
So
was trying to make the argument of why certain cultures of people are demonized more than others.
yeah,
There's so many examples in history like that you can bring up. I mean, I only brought up recent cultural news because of our fans and probably their age. And if you bring up a bunch of old shit, they ain't gonna know.
like when you say like, oh, like I do agree that they paint narratives stronger against black people, but it almost sounds like when nigga was talking about, oh, Bill Cosby, he was trying to buy NBC. Stop it. That nigga did that shit, man. Like, what you mean? The nigga was in jail for doing it. He was convicted. So it's like, that's where
I
it
don't
get
know.
dangerous to me.
That's different because like that nigga did a crime.
Well, yeah, it's different. It's different. But
Like
I'm just
I
saying,
don't
like
know
that's
like how you can compare like black people saying like, oh, we were Israelites or something like that to Bill Cosby raping people.
no, because you're saying like, oh, not like what they trying to paint Kanye as
Look,
crazy. They
yeah,
trying to
because
paint
they're
ooh
trying to paint that like, but you
because he
can
trying to
look
come
at
up.
books and
Yeah, you
things
could.
of
Yeah,
that nature. It's like history. It's like just because no one's looking up any facts or anything. It's
right,
just we're just looking at the headline. Whatever's funny is just what it is.
right.
Like it's just
Yeah, that's
being negative.
verifiable. It's verifiable for sure.
Yeah, it
If I knew
is.
we was gonna talk about this shit today, I would have looked it up. I don't care enough to even look at like I'm gonna look at it just since we talking about it again, and I've heard it so many times in my fucking life. And I
Yeah,
never knew the
I've heard it
answer.
a lot of times in my life for sure.
Like,
And Israelites was people.
yeah. Even Kendrick Lamar said it too. He was like, I'm not black no more. Call me an Israelite. He said that on Damn. So it's like he must have did some knowledge or some shit. Maybe he went to the school of Farrakhan. I
He
don't
said
know.
he went there and he visited. Like he talked to the people.
Mm, okay,
Like
okay.
it's if people actually knew like our history and did some little research.
Yeah.
I mean, this stuff wouldn't be able to be so easily hidden by like. I mean, these are the reasons why they don't teach us our history.
Nah,
Like
that's a
it's the
fact.
exact reason why.
That's a fact.
It's to keep us bickering at each other for like shit that should be already known.
Mm-hmm.
And when someone do say it, they're fucking Candace Owens.
let's move on. I don't even feel like talking about that bitch right now. Um, okay, let's just do love and hate, man. I'm ready to get up out of here, man. Um, let's see, where is the itinerary? Okay, so you trying to get into this love and hate?
Yeah.
All right, let's do this shit. So love and hate, we kind of talk about a single, per person. Actually, it's three singles per person. If we love it, we gotta say love. If we hate it, we hate the beat, we hate the verse, we hate the motherfucking voice. We gotta say hate on that shit. So let's go ahead and get into it like we always do. I'm gonna bring up the first one for you. Let's talk about 580 Bins by Payroll. Love or hate?
Man, I'm loving this track. This payroll project is super hard. Um, he just came out with it recently. It's called Back to the Basics. It has a lot of great tracks on here. Really, I see no features on here. Came out May 20th.
Mm-hmm.
Payroll, if you don't really know who he is, he's an artist from Detroit. Made a lot of great tapes. Worked with some great producers like Cardo. Um, but yeah, every time he drops something, he's always one of those artists who actually try to teach business sense, and knowledge to Black people and in the community. He's not always just talking about dumb shit. He's actually talking about uplifting people
Yeah, yeah. He
in his
definitely
music.
switched it. He switched the swag up for sure.
Yeah, and it's he makes great music.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very like he's under the umbrella of the hoes of the Jeezys. Um, yeah, I mean like I like the growth in hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be always what we are talking about in our previously in our episode. Oh, hip hop is destroying blah blah blah. It's like, of course, you can bring up majority of the young people, and young people are young for a reason. They have to be taught these things, and it has to be highlighted. It has to be looked at as cool, like to teach positive shit. If it ain't, then it's just like the community just gonna like laugh at it and just ignore it. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to your first song. I mean, I love that song, by the way, people.
Mm-hmm.
Gloss Up, Somebody Love You, freestyle.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Gloss Up, man. She another female rapper out of a woman rapper out of Memphis. She cool with Glorilla. So like when I first heard of Glorilla, um, it was they were doing this. I think it was something called like Set the Tone was the record. I think like Hit Kid, a producer, got together like four or five girls, and they like all kind of went back and forth on the record. It was Glorilla, Gloss Up. It was K Carbon, who's cool, Pooh Shiesty. She Shiesty Gang, and Slimeroni, Eliza. So basically, that's all I want to say about that. But this record, what I wanted to say was Gloss Up kind of stuck out to me. But this record, like I be hating when people start experimenting with auto tune because they don't be all the way good at it at first. And this is what she kind of did that on this shit. But she was definitely spitting some real shit on this. Like she was talking about her life and talking about somebody love you, like some real type shit. But like she's experienced with the auto tune that kind of like threw me off a little bit. So I gotta say hate, but I'm still looking forward to anything she dropped because her and Glorilla, all five of them really dope to be honest. But yeah, just when you get with the auto tune, gotta tighten up, ladies. You gotta tighten up. Well, fellas too, because some of these dudes be trash on the auto tune. But yeah, I'm gonna say hit on that one. But with that said, let me go ahead and move
All
into
right,
this
bet.
next one, which is let's talk about Still Having by Jeezy. Love or hate?
Oh man, this new Jeezy project, mixtape Jeezy is fucking back. This is what I've been waiting for.
Mm-hmm.
Jeezy, this is one of the best Jeezy projects he's ever dropped, in my opinion. I'm a
Okay.
big Jeezy fan. Like I grew up listening to the Gangsta Grills 20 years ago, Trap or Die, all that. this Jeezy is like, he must be in the best time of his life with his wife, like his new wife and his kid, like mentally, everything,
Yeah.
because he is really like this gap between this idea between Gucci and Jeezy is just it's widening fucking crazy right now. Like this project right here has put, I don't know, to me, like Jeezy has widened that gap between them two. Like it was already the verses, and he kind of made it evident there, but with this project here, man, Jeezy's one of the greatest rappers of like probably my generation at least.
Hmm?
All right, so make sure you go check that project out.
Like what?
It's with DJ Drama and Jeezy, Snowfall.
One of the greatest. Can we put a name? Can we put a number on that? Top 100?
Top 100.
Jeezy?
All right. Okay. That's disrespectful.
Is it?
Is it?
What generation we talking about? Like, give me a time frame.
Uh, I'm saying of all time. Like, like Jeezy, I gotta put Jeezy up there. Like, I'm gonna say Jeezy top.
Oh my god.
Jeezy top what?
This
Top
nigga
top 30? Jeezy top 30
of all time.
all time. Yeah, Jeezy top 30.
I can name 10 better rappers from Atlanta, to be honest.
Yeah, Jeezy top. I'm gonna say Jeezy up there. Top 30 rappers of all time.
Nah, he
And
not
I'm going
trash.
off of legacy and like how long he's been going. Like there ain't many rappers who career is that long.
But you can't.
And like
You can't.
still dropping quality music from like when they was
We're not
young
doing
to
that.
all
We're
the
not
way
doing that.
here and
We're not
quality
doing that.
projects all the way.
We're not doing that. Cause you know he missed in the
Nah,
middle.
nigga,
You know
you
he
not
missed.
doing it. Like
You know he missed
there's a
in the
lot of
middle. Stop
a
capping.
lot of rappers missed though. Not everyone's on top forever.
That's
Like
true.
Jay-Z missed.
He did.
Like
How many
he's
times
one
did
of
he
the
miss versus
greatest.
Jeezy though?
No, I'm like, let's speak of older rappers and old niggas.
Like Ti missed.
Like that's what I'm
Like
saying. Like
Wayne missed.
every older rapper, like it's hard not to have no misses. They all had a miss. Well,
Yeah.
except maybe Kendrick hasn't had one yet, but
I mean, some
all
people
right,
say To Pimp a Butterfly was a miss.
niggas know that wasn't.
It just don't vibe with some people, I guess. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll
I
give.
don't know. It's unless like you don't put out work and just leave your catalog at
Mhm.
great,
Yeah.
like bound out early. But people who really just like they just keep rapping all the way, like just still rapping,
Yeah.
and they keep evolving and still make good music.
Yeah.
I can't put. There's not a lot of rappers I could put in that category
It's
that
not.
I can say, oh, I still like listening to the music today. Who
Who
are
who
old?
didn't miss? I don't think it's anybody that never missed. To be honest,
Who didn't miss?
'cause I
Who
feel
didn't like? Who got young? Who from young age to older now?
yeah.
That's what I'm
It
saying.
can't be anybody
And
because everybody has that period when they try to experiment, but they go too far.
how many years? Well, rap is it's like rap is so young anyway. So I feel
That's
like a
true.
long time is 10 years.
Yeah, 10, 15, 20
Yeah, if you make it
years.
10 years in hip hop, like you made it a long time.
Yeah.
Like there's not many who's really in that category who made it 10 years.
Nah, it's
There's
not.
really not many of you. Like you can really start naming them off.
Because they would have had to start 2020 or 2012 and before, which, I mean, Freddie Gibbs still here. We got
I mean, yeah.
Pusha T.
I mean, saying 10 years is like you start talking about people from our generation. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I mean, we already know because they're big now. I mean, it's Drake, J.
Yeah,
Cole,
yeah.
Freddie
Dot,
Gibbs,
K Dot.
yeah, Kendrick,
Um,
um, Big Sean. What, Wiz Khalifa? Is Wiz
You
Khalifa?
just naming niggas at this point. Stop this.
You know what I'm saying? That's
Nigga said
still
Wiz
like
Khalifa.
that's still making money and getting. I don't know.
Nah, I'm just being a hater. Nah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, Wiz Khalifa.
Yeah,
Currency.
it's because they still come out with so much fucking music,
Yeah.
that people still love. Um, yeah, I mean,
Snoop.
there's definitely. I mean, I see what you mean though while you laugh, because it's like,
They in that miss. Some of them rappers in that miss period right now. They
yeah,
could maybe in 3 years they might drop some heat, but some of them rappers in that miss period.
and a lot of them like they drop like an album, and it don't all be trash. Like it'll
True.
be singles and tracks like that's really good,
Yeah.
and it's just like overall like putting the project together is just like, mm-mm. But it's like listen to an album with 2022 ears, like me today.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
me back then, maybe I would have thought that shit was the most fire shit and inventive shit ever.
Yeah.
But the way music is and how much shit that we have to hear because so many people drop, like you gotta be you can't drop like some regular average shit because more people can drop. Like there's a lot of people
Yeah.
that's fucking rapping that we hear that get highlighted.
Yeah.
So
More people can drop. More people have dropped already with new styles.
yeah, so it's easier like if your shit ain't fire and you ain't still putting out quality shit, it's like we ain't gonna hear that shit.
Just like when Wiz and Currency dropped that 2009 album, like with the like kind of sound, like I'm good.
Live in
But and
concert.
then didn't they drop a whole album that was called like 2009, if I'm not
It
mistaken?
was the one you're talking about with like old type of like jazz, elevator kind of music beats,
No, not that one. That was something
orchestra-ish.
else.
That was
No,
live
that
in
was Bobby
concert.
Humphrey. That was like a Bobby Humphrey remix album type thing. I'm talking about. Anyway, but what I wanted to say is an anomaly to that is
I know
kind of
what you're talking about
Griselda.
because they put like a bunch of different tracks out and then they put it
Yeah,
all together into one.
yeah,
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 that one.
yeah. Yeah. But Griselda is kind of the anomaly because they kind of came with the old quote unquote sound and made it hot. Joey Badass maybe could be an anomaly there, but
What do you mean there?
I'm just saying because you said like,
It's also hard because okay, someone like a Joey Badass. Okay, so some
mhm,
of his early projects were really good,
yeah,
like they came out with, and then today he came out with a good project, and like 10 years later, probably.
yeah, yeah,
So it's like, but we can't say like he disappeared doing other shit and whatever.
yeah.
He
He
stepped
was
away from
acting.
music. So it's like, do we still count that person in that 10 year, saying this person's that like person like relevant? Because
I don't know.
they wasn't someone who dropped the project every couple years or a year and throughout the years. So I don't know if I want to put them in that like the category that I'm talking about with Jeezy.
I mean,
But
it
Jeezy ain't
depends though.
stopped.
Jeezy. When the last album he dropped before this? It had to be at least 3 years.
No, he just dropped the project like last year.
For real?
Yeah, he dropped hella projects. He
Oh,
dropped
I
the
ain't hear it.
album. I'm looking it up so I can. Okay, so 2020 he dropped the Recession too.
Okay, okay.
Like the Recession one was huge. He dropped TN 104 2019.
Mm-hmm.
He dropped another little tape 2020 Power Race Vision
Yeah, I see
2020.
that. Yeah.
Like Trapper Dot 3 like 27 2020. Every year he drops pretty much an album.
Yeah, so he was still here. He was still here.
Like
Um,
of course, it may like he might have fell off with some albums, but he's continued to drop music over that time, and like
yeah.
it continues to keep his fan base and like it's strong. Like
I don't know. I think you can still count Joey Badass. I don't think the break he took, like, let me look at his discography. I don't think is that detrimental. Like,
I wouldn't count Joey Badass. I think it's too long, and I don't think it's he don't have enough. He don't have like really enough good projects um in a 10 year span,
yeah, his last solo was 2017,
and that was what.
All American Badass.
Yeah, that was terrible.
That was the one with Devastated on it.
Yeah, and then the album before that was like 3 or 4 years before that, I believe.
Yeah, before the money was 2015. Summer Nights was 2013.
Yeah, I like
1999 was
2015
2012.
before the money. That was the last project I liked of his.
Yeah, that shit was it was good.
That I thought was like, this is good. And then he was going in a different direction there too. I was like, oh
Yeah,
man, like this is good. And
it
then he
was.
just completely shifted to
I think,
fucking that.
but I think the reason why he took it, I don't know. I don't know that nigga. I really
I mean, he
couldn't call
spoke
it,
on it
but
like, in podcasts and shit
did
and
he? Okay.
interviews and stuff about him stepping away. Um, he said he was just doing movies and just like he stepped away, focused on other shit. He didn't say he stopped making music. Like he said he was
Yeah,
making music, but he just wasn't putting anything out. That just wasn't his focus anymore. His love, and he was just focusing on him.
I feel like he got scared because nigga wasn't fucking with that devastated type shit. He was like, all right, well, okay,
I
let me
think
just
it.
not drop right
I think
quick.
it just takes growing up, and I feel like
Mm,
it's hard for like someone who has so much pressure to be the greatest
yeah,
at a
yeah,
young age. Like
yeah,
as a kid, a teenager, like people's like really putting you up there with like Nas,
yeah.
like his first project. Like that's a lot of pressure.
It is. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, he really just didn't live up to that, like what people thought. But the thing is, like the great thing is, like he still has hella time, so he still
Hmm.
can, if he starts like really just dropping hella music and like a lot more fire shit than what he just dropped though. That's not good enough to be like it's a good project. It's cool, but for all them years, it's cool.
Yeah,
Like there's some
yeah.
good tracks on here, but it's still just cool. Like,
And to name it 2000 after
hey,
your breakout album, I
it's
don't
a
know.
smooth listen. Like I mean I fuck with it. Like
Mm,
I can listen to it throughout. It's alright.
hmm. Okay, okay.
I mean we went on to a different conversation, but let's go back to these love and hate. Um so the next track I got for you here is Con GTA.
Yeah. And this is something I was thinking about before we was even started the podcast, and you said it too. Is just like niggas' ears changed. Like niggas is listening to new sounds, new swags now. So it's like, I think that's where I'm at right now. Like I'm listening to a whole different type of sound and shit. And I think it changes with me though. Like I'm just even thinking about how I was listening to like hella Bay Area shit like when I was in high school. Then I was on the Wiz Khalifa. Then I got on the Chief Keef. Then I got on the Kendrick. And then you know what I mean? Like I always going kind of like phases of types of rap. So right now I'm just kind of in that like
Yeah.
young drug user, like like just hype turn up, like that type of vibe. And this basically what this is. It's a good record though. Like good beat. Love the beats. I love the beats these days. The beats these days are hard to show. Um, content wise, I mean, these niggas don't be talking about shit. So like, I want to say love because this is like the type of shit that I would listen to, that I'm gravitating towards. But like, if I'm being 1 million with y'all, like it's not. Niggas don't be talking about nothing, to be honest. So I gotta say hate on this one too. But I definitely once it drop on Spotify, I am downloading it so I can bump that shit in the whip. Um, So with that being said, I'm moving to your last one, "King of the Jungle" by NBA YoungBoy. Love or hate?
Man, I'm really loving this song. This was I really just chose to fit my favorite track on this DJ Drama. And DJ Drama is fucking going crazy. He just dropped 3 projects. It was the project with Snoop Dogg. He had a project
Mm-hmm.
with NBA Youngboy, and he also dropped the project with Jeezy.
Yes, sir.
And this was off his project with NBA Youngboy. And this was my favorite one. I didn't, to be real, I don't like the project overall. Like it's cool, but I mean I only went
Yeah.
through it like one time, so real quick. Like I was skipping through because I was
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, I don't know, it was not for me, not for me, not for me. And like It was only a couple tries, but this was the one that really stuck out to me, and I was like, yeah, I fuck with this.
Okay.
But other than that, like, I'm probably not gonna listen to probably any of these tracks for real, other than that one. But I love this track.
The one with Nicki was hard to me. I feel like I just love Nicki vibe on the beat, like regardless. But
What
yeah,
was she doing?
overall,
Singing, or like she was like kind of harmonizing a little bit?
she started singing, but then she
That's what I
started
thought.
rapping. But she started rapping, and when she started rapping, I'm like, oh my god, like she got like I don't know something about Nicki Minaj, man. She just she's just like
She's really the greatest woman rapper ever.
I really if it ain't Rhapsody, it's her. Like to me,
Rhapsody.
we're not doing this. Let's not do this.
What? Hold on. What?
We're not
You
doing
comparing Rhapsody to who?
Nicki Minaj.
Who does that?
Have you never heard Rhapsody albums before?
I heard him. I love Rhapsody. North Carolina, like, what's up?
Rhapsody will rap
It's in her name.
Nicki. Exactly. Like, what are we talking about? Like, what are we even talking about here? Like,
nah, I'm just.
We could talk about success. Like, Nicki is Nicki, but if we talking about rap,
That's what I'm trying to figure out. What you talking about? Like, just like rap, just pure, just rap, just not music, just not no songs.
Yes, rap,
just rap.
Yes.
Would I rather listen to a Rhapsody track or a Nicki Minaj rap?
I would rather listen to a Rhapsody track. I don't like listening to Nicki Minaj like I don't.
I'm
listen
talking
to
about a
freestyle.
freestyle.
Rhapsody? What you mean?
Rhapsody I had to go to like
be like,
what itty little bitty, like whatever that tape was.
That shit was hard. It was hard.
Like from Nicki Minaj freestyle days, that mixtape, like when she first got on.
Yeah.
Or her on that track Monster, or like
hard.
That Nicki, like the young Nicki, like that, like that Nicki that was hungry before she went Barb.
Mm-hmm.
Like Nicki Reloaded, like
she went Barb early though. She went Barb at, like, on Pink Friday, so like that was like 2010.
Nah.
So like, she was on that
went
super
through so
bass.
many freaking phases, and they was all hard though.
They were though.
Like it's just like it's hard to say. It's like, man, every single phase was hard.
It was.
Like she went on, like she was like the rap, like pop, then she was a chameleon. She was a female chameleon out here.
Which, well, all I'm saying is Rhapsody. Come on, man. I feel like I don't even got to explain it. Like, just listen to her rap, and it's just like
the bitch can rap.
Case closed. Goddamn it. But oh yeah. So you said love or hate on. Oh, you said love on King of the Jungle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. All right. Go ahead and get into this last one.
So the last one is Ski Mask the Slump God, Ooga Booga.
Yeah, this one, the reason why I like Ski Mask the Slump God is because he be having different styles. But I feel like when I listened to this shit, it sounded like some shit I had already heard from him.
You think Ski Mask got different styles?
He do. He definitely do. Like even the beats he choose, the way he read the cadences, like he do. He don't. He has many styles. You just don't listen to him, so you can't even say that. You can't say that.
He got many,
but
he don't.
He does. You don't listen to him.
He takes too much time to make a rap. Like I feel like that's what it is, and it like.
What does that mean?
Not many great songs come out of like what he's making, and that's why projects don't drop.
Possibly. Possibly, but that the songs that I like by Ski Mask, they all sound so different. But this one sounded like one that I'd heard before, so I was like, it was cool, but it just sounded like he was doing the same shit again and again.
I feel like he's one of those artists where it's like you wait for them to drop for so many years and then they don't drop.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was waiting for them like years ago, and then they didn't drop, and they just dropped like a song here and there. Yeah. And the song wasn't it. So it's just
he was doing that.
At this point, it's just like you're way past like you fucked up your own career at this point. You're fucking water, like that dude. You're ugly god. Like you're along those same lineage of
Nah,
them.
he ain't ugly God.
Like
He's
you're
not ugly God.
washed. Like you're done. Like with your career.
He's not.
You're ugly god. You're like fucking Trinidad James or some shit. Like
He'll never beat him because he had close ties to Triple X and Juice World.
I don't
He'll
care who
never.
he had ties with. His career never popped up to any of them, and it won't.
I mean, to
Because
you, he might be done, but to their fans, they still want that essence, and he gives them that essence.
man, drop a project and put up Triple X numbers. Then
I feel
like
that. I
he
understand.
dropped projects and the numbers don't be there.
It
It'd
don't.
be with the same type of numbers of his crew.
I agree.
Like
I agree.
he had
But
plenty of time to try to garner that fan base, and he
mhm.
fucking threw it away. That literally what I meant by this was
Yeah,
I was waiting for him around that time to drop something. And like he literally missed a window. Like literally, Triple X, what? He dropped 2 posthumous albums by now, 2 or 3 by now. And
yeah,
then,
I think so.
yeah, and he don't drop any tracks. Maybe he's like featuring on his album, posthumous album.
I mean, he dropped that mixtape last year, Sin City the mixtape, which one of his songs is on NBA 2K. That's a big check. I don't know.
Yeah, you a fan, but so you love or hate it?
No, I hate it because it just sounds like something I already heard from him. I want him to do something different.
Yeah, I saw that
Um,
track and I was like, yeah, I'm not clicking that.
I just figured I was like, might as well. I just
I
needed some
already
shit
know
for
what
like a
that
hate.
shit gonna sound like.
Yeah, it sound
Like it's some bullshit. Like
everybody
I'm
sound like that.
sure. I'm sure
Who
he's
don't
making
sound like that?
noises. Like he a
He is.
noisy ass rapper. Like, that's what
He
the
is.
fuck. Like
Who don't do that these days though?
ain't nobody doing that shit like that no more. Like you
Think maybe he should switch the swag up. I don't know.
man, he ain't got no other
Also, I keep
swags. He
saying
can't rap.
swag. I don't know. Is swag outdated? I don't know. I feel like I keep saying swag, but I don't know.
I feel like the talent already rose to the to the top, and he just didn't make the cut.
Hmm.
Um, like his era is done.
We'll see. You still got people listening. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying he ain't gonna have nothing, but
Yeah, you said he was done out here.
yeah, me,
I don't know. We gonna see.
yeah,
We gonna see in 5 years when he don't drop shit in the next 5 years, and then it's gonna be like, damn. Okay,
he
well,
gonna drop an EP or something.
yeah. Hopefully, just so we can see what I'm gonna see what it's gonna sound like. You not, but I'm gonna see what the nigga talking about. But
Unless I hear something different. Make a song about a girl or a woman or a story or something like that's not just catchy and trying to catch a beat.
let's close it out here.
Yeah.
Why do we have standards for some people like, oh, you got to make a song about this, that, and the third, but then we let other niggas make songs about the same shit over and over and over and over and over again, and we love
I
it.
don't do that.
So how did you listen to this little?
So I feel like that's the difference. It's like I don't do that, but niggas do that, but I don't.
Did you listen to Lil Baby's album?
Yeah, I heard it.
How'd you feel about
It's cool.
it? But you feel like he could have switched something up, like.
The thing is with Lil Baby albums, his albums he always have those tracks that are different though.
He do. Yeah, that was a
And
bad
that's
example.
and it's also on this album as well. Like he has those tracks as well that aren't the same like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Lil Baby always has a bunch of different tracks.
Yeah, he do.
So I don't think that was a good example.
Yeah, I can't really think of nobody right now. I'm really just trying to stop this shit
Yeah.
in this episode. But I guess we can get into highlights. You got anything to highlight this week?
I'm gonna go ahead and highlight. I'm gonna say Snowfall. Jeezy and DJ Drama. That's my top project.
I
I
think
was
you did that last
really
time.
fucking excited about that project.
Didn't you do that last time?
Me?
Yeah.
Did
On
I?
God, that's what you did. Let me look.
Didn't the project just come out?
No, you're right. You're right. My bad. Keep going. I'm just talking about
The
like
project
you
came
was
out October
talking.
21st.
Yeah, we was talking about it the other day. That's why I'm thinking about it. I'm getting shit mixed up. Keep going. Proceed.
I don't know where else to drop. Nah, I mean, like, that's pretty much the end of my spill right there anyway.
Yeah, yeah. Let me highlight, man. You know, I think that I always got a soft spot for people from Detroit. Just because I'm from the area. I'm not from Detroit, from Metro Detroit, but I always,
How long you
try to
gotta
support
live
people.
somewhere to be from there?
That's a good question.
Like,
Probably a good 10 years.
I feel like I lived long enough in Michigan where I'll be like, yeah, I'm from there. When people ask at this point, yeah.
Nah, not me. I got to keep it 1,000.
No, I tell
Um,
them originally with my birthplace, but it's like I ain't lived there for real. Not that long.
yeah, yeah, I feel that. But with that being said, I do want to highlight Jemele Hill, former Sports Center, his and hers, ESPN Dynamo.
They got her out of
Um,
there.
they did. But she just dropped a memoir called Uphill. I haven't read it yet, but I've been seeing. I listen to her podcast religiously, by the way. But definitely about to check that out. But everybody, if you're looking for a good story, good memoir by a Detroit native, go ahead and check out that Uphill memoir by Jemele Hill. So that's all I wanted to highlight this week. Rod highlighted Snowfall by Jeezy, so check that out as well. But with that being said, we about to get up out of here, man. Thank you for listening and peace out.